Hey everybody, welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Summer Bishil.
Oh shit. I'm Jason. I'm Jason.
I'm Zachary Patton-Garcia.
And I'm Ian Carlos Crawford. We are here to talk about the Angels Season 1 episode, Hero, which I feel like it's wild that we've made it already to this episode, because this feels like a very pivotal season, like it changes the season, right? But yeah, I'm glad to have all three of you here. Summer, give us, what do you think of this episode, just like in general?
I mean, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
You know what I will say after I watched it again, because I knew we were recording, because I was like, I want to know what I'm talking about. The fucking, like, Nazis that are, like, killing all these demons off are terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, they're so scary. Like, the makeup and, like, just the creature that they developed for this, like, the demons specifically that they developed for that military. I mean, they were military, right? They were, like, kind of a military.
Super militaristic,
Super military.
Yeah.
They were just fucking so creepy. Like, that really hit hard. And it was, like, sad to watch Doyle die, because you know he's going to die. You know what happens. And it's always sad. And then, like, it's a good episode, but it's a bummer.
Zachary?
No, everything she just said, and it's sad. And you get to the end, and he's like, everyone needs a hero, or whatever he does it in his little accent. It's just, I didn't, because I've seen this, like, this is the episode I've seen like a bunch of times.
Oh, you have? Okay.
And I didn't expect to be sad again, and I was. And I think it's more because now I'm going through the season, so, like, I'm seeing his arc, and he really does have a full arc, like, in such a short amount of time. So
it's so crazy, right? Because it was such a short amount of time, and that, like, hero send-off really was kind of justified, even though it was, like, 7. Well, how many episodes was it only?
9. Yeah, only 9.
9? Yeah. This dude got 9 episodes.
Gosh. Yeah. Jason, what'd you think?
Just watching it again and, like, knowing what's happening, I feel like I was just like, well, now I'm sad the whole time. So I don't know.
Yeah,
right. I mean, like, I feel like this is like with most TV, if you love it and you go back and watch an episode, like, it's very clear they're setting up everything for, like, this is Doyle's last stand. Because like him and Cordy finally start to, like, get there. And I feel like in past watches, I don't know if this is your influence, Summer, or what, but, like, I didn't love Doyle as much, but this time I did. Like, he, like you guys said, he has an arc, and, like, it's all slowly. I almost feel like it's, like, sprinkled in earlier, and then, like, all of that does lead up to this, right? It's like in a previous episode, we get him literally saying in one of the other episodes that, like, he doesn't like being in demon form because, like, he doesn't even like fighting in his demon form. And that we know that he's like self-conscious about it and feels some kind of way. And I don't know, that's like the writing does pay it off here. Even though it's, like you said, Summer, a fucking bummer.
It feels like, doesn't it feel this? It's just weird. It feels very season finale.
Yeah.
It feels like. It feels like he's probably been in there longer. When we started with Doyle, it seems like there's a lot going on in his mind. And from, what did you say this was, episode 9? From episode 1 on, it's like somebody in his ear, say, or whoever's writing these episodes saying, calm down, Doyle. Calm down. You're okay. You're okay. And then we get to him being okay, and he fucking dies, man.
Yeah. Jason, what were you going to say?
Oh, I just, like, for some reason, when, you said we were doing this episode, I was like, oh, wow, you're already at the finale. And I'm like, wait, this wasn't the finale.
I know.
Because it does. It feels like that was, like, that's it for the season. But, obviously it's not.
Was this mid-season?
I mean, okay. I know back then, remember there used to be, like,
this like a couple of weeks, right? It was
where they probably took a break after airing this episode, like, because it does. You're right; it does feel like a finale.
Let me go check that. Actually,
they needed.
That's actually what I was just doing. I was like, oh wait, let me see. This is November 30th. And then, oh no, November 30th, and the next episode was December 14th. Huh.
That's so weird, man.
Yeah.
So then that makes me believe that it was the addiction issue thing.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because if it was a planned thing, wouldn't you plan that as the mid-season?
Right. Yeah. And like not just 9 episodes. Yeah, it would be like at least in the middle. Well, and like I was wondering, I was trying to find anything, but I couldn't really find anything about, because so while it all does line up for Doyle, the plot of this episode moves so fast.
Yeah.
Like when we were on that ledge, when they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? I was like, wait, we're already at the end. This is where Doyle dies. Like, fuck. Like it felt so weirdly fast that it almost felt like, and Summer, you always talk about like this with TV shows, right? It almost feels like they did like a rewrite for like the last 30 minutes of the episode to be like, nope, we gotta get to the Doyle end quicker, right?
It was just so random.
Yeah.
But like, because if they really, I mean, you can see it in his send off and how much weight it had and how effective of a like exclamation point in the series that it was, and how remembered he is for 9 episodes for a show that ran for I don't know how many seasons. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because they clearly paid a lot of mind and time to the development of his character, and they put equal time and mind into his departure. And it's just what happened, like, and why is the question. Because you don't usually invest that much time to take it all apart 9 episodes later.
Yeah, that's why I do think probably the story of that, like, he had addiction issues and they had to fire him probably is true, because, like, we wouldn't have invested that much time in a character if we were going to kill him and never see him again, right?
Well, Ian, you have connections. Can't you ask somebody what the truth to this is? Because there's two rumors that can go, like, side by side. There's that Joss did say that it was planned all along, but then there was that, subtle rumor that it was the addiction issues. So, like, go clear that up for us and, like, add it in or something.
All right, I'll text Drew Greenberg and Tom Lenk after this, see if they know about the spinoff show they never worked on.
They know all the people, though. They're all interconnected.
True.
What I do think is effective, though, is how in Buffy, like, we don't ever lose anybody that we're that invested in, especially not early on. Like this, and they were trying to be a much darker, more adult show. Like, this is Angel, this isn't Buffy, this ain't Sunnydale,
Right.
And like, you could lose one of the people you think is one of the leads, and I guess that does hit home. It's like, damn, anything can happen.
It could be like the Jesse thing.
I remember being so surprised, and like when it happened, I was just like, "Wait, that's it? Like that's it? That can't be right."
Jason, I think you literally said that to me when we watched that episode together.
Yes.
But yeah, Zach, I heard what you were saying that maybe it could be a Jesse thing, and I do think that could also be a factor. Like
because they could have had like they could have had that idea already and just like expanded upon it, and given him a little bit more time. Because, I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of time with Jesse, so, like, we weren't, crying over it.
Right,
and somebody could have had the idea, well, what if we took Jesse and gave him 9 episodes?
Yeah.
Cut it right before the 10th.
That's true. That's true. I mean, and, like, again, it does work. Like, the emotional beats, like, play out here really well. But I did think the same thing you thought, Zach. It just felt very season finale. Like even opening with, so at the end of the episode, we do open on, which I love, the like Cordelia trying to like get them to do a commercial, and she's explaining it to Angel. Like, I love that.
It's my favorite fucking thing. And she puts herself right in the commercial. And
I love her voiceover too. Like, oh, we should get him, or we should get him. Like,
she's like, that bald guy from Star Trek. And she's like, we'll cast an up and coming young starlet, and it's her. I feel like this is somehow like me giving Zach an idea for something.
Probably, and you're just putting yourself in it. I could see it.
But so I like that. I like it. But also it's like goofy, but again, goes back to, you know, what we say all the time, Summer, is that Cordelia's also right. Like that would help, right? Like having a commercial.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so sad. Like his final like line, like
yeah.
It was like, is that it? Am I done?
Are we done?
It's like, yeah,
I know.
You was not going to be in the credits anymore.
Dead. You know what? I wish that like Buffy had done a commercial. I would love to see Buffy act in a commercial, like for the Double Meat Palace or something like that. Just
oh my God,
some sort of commercial, right? Anya would have been the one directing that commercial too.
She would.
Oh yeah.
Or like a commercial for the Magic Box, like.
Oh yes. Oh my God. And Buffy gets to play the like patron or something.
Oh my God. And I like that Cordelia, like, not only does she have the idea, but she becomes like the writer and director for this commercial. And that's totally what Anya would have done too, right?
Yeah.
And Giles would have been the one like, oh, do I have to deliver these lines?
They never interacted, did they? No.
Well,
Anya
and Cordelia?
Yeah, what a tragedy.
We got the like wish, but like that was
it's like barely though. They didn't like when they really started to develop Anya, they didn't like we didn't get that crossover.
I know, because they would have been so good together. But yeah, so I love this. I love that, like, you know, Cordelia's, and he just kind of blows her off again. And he's like, no. And I also love the title she gives him in the commercial of like Dark Avenger. It's so silly.
Dark Avenger.
And then she's like, Buffy blows into town and puts you in a permanent funk. Like, I love that she's like annoyed because he just blows her off, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? Okay. Yeah. Following that episode up with this episode, like who
that's true.
Is the masochist in the fucking writer's room?
You?
Because there is some pain and trauma there.
Yeah. Zach, I'm glad that I wasn't sure if you would have known that, because I know sometimes you haven't watched all the episodes, but I was glad you.
I have seen that episode. Oh yes, I have seen that episode.
Yeah, it's wild to like. The episodes are like mildly serious, but then like in season 1, but then those 2 episodes back to back, like Jesus Christ.
But then they're like, here's Sarah crying. And I'm like, oh, I can't handle this. It's too much.
I'm like, please stop showing me Sarah Michelle Gellar crying.
Why do you have to come back?
But like, so then Doyle comes in and he's kind of like, well, we can't really do a commercial because he can only go out at night. And she's like, yeah, Angel's too Braveheart for the average couch potato. And she's like, we need someone more average and ordinary. And then immediately is like, oh, Doyle. And I love that he is kind of like, no, absolutely not. And she's like, this is non-negotiable. You are doing this commercial. And when he's like, I don't know what we need evil for. We got you right here. And she's like, I heard that. I think maybe Charisma Carpenter has very good chemistry with everyone that she like shares a scene with, right?
Yeah, she really does.
She's just fire with everyone.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, I love that we get a little bit of like hints of like Cordy and Angel this season when they have their like very nice one-on-one moments. And like their chemistry is there. But then like her and Doyle's one-on-one scenes, the chemistry is also there, right? Mm-hmm. But she has good chemistry with both of them. And so like I kind of get why people held on to that. Like some people are like, oh, like one of the ships I really love. Like whenever I talk about how I like Angel and Cordelia together, people will talk about Cordelia and Doyle, which again, like y'all said, is like a testament to him because he's only in the show for 9 episodes. But they do have good chemistry. Post credits, we cut to them filming the commercial, and I love our rats are low, and she's like, rights, and he's like, it says rats. Like, it's very cute, and it made me think of You're Welcome, Cordelia's last episode, when she watches the tape. Like, ugh.
Does she do that? You're spoiling shit, man.
Why did you have to say it?
Oh no.
Yeah. That's like one of the bits in her last episode is she's watching that tape, and
that
it's
is
always
fucking
like
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear.
It's somethings.
Yeah, and I like that's what I just kept thinking about. And so we get like another moment of Cordelia developing as she's like, oh, you're giving Weasel, and he's like hurt, and she does apologize. She's like, I'm sorry, like, you know, all this is stressing me out, and she just wants to like get a commercial. Like it really does feel like she's the only one interested in the business being a business.
Which is so annoying too.
Right.
Yeah, because it is something like she's very much looking out for her own livelihood, right? Like,
right.
Angel has this like big ass little underground Batman lair, but like she's going to Dennis's apartment. She's got to make sure she can afford it every day. And a commercial would really help. Like she says, they don't got any clients, you know?
Right.
Like who's looking out for this?
And like, I mean, and I mean, Summer, you talk about this all the time. Like they really do, like they play it off as though like, oh, stupid Cordy, but it's like, no, she's right.
Yeah, no, she's like, we have a fucking business and we need clients and there's a way to run one. Like she's the reason they have income, and Angel can even save and help people because he's so awkward and brooding. Like, who would even be able to approach him to ask for help?
They don't approach him. He approaches everybody else in dark parking lots. Only women.
Exactly.
You're right, Summer. I wouldn't go to that guy for help.
Nah. I'd be like,
no, that guy in that long trench coat? No, I'm good. Like, he probably will kill me. So, yeah, we get all of this. And I do like that Cordelia is like, maybe we should get Angel a costume. And Doyle's like, I don't want to picture him in spandex. And he's like, wait, I can. And, like, I kind of love that, like, Doyle, like, if the show were, like, today, he would have been, like, buy or pan. Because he's, like, there's always, like, references to him thinking Angel is very attractive.
Every episode
there really is.
They have done that.
Right. I think it has been every episode you've been on, Zach.
Absolutely has.
Yeah.
But right, don't you think if that show were done now, Zach, that he would have been like queer or something?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, and they would have done it either really well or, super pandering, but he would have been something, it would have been like the hint of, it probably would have been this, but a little bit more,
Right.
Like
not much more than this though.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just like, they don't say it, but it's like, like clearer that like he is.
Absolutely thinks of Angel in different scenarios quite often. It's very clear.
Oh yeah.
And like fair. Season 1 Angel is a fucking babe, so fair. But so Doyle goes down to talk to Angel. He tells Cordy he'll talk to him, and Angel's like very grumpy. He's doing his like boxing routine, and I actually forgot. I kind of thought that and I think I said this in our recording, Summer, and I was wrong. I didn't think we ever talked about what happened in the previous, like I didn't think Angel ever acknowledged it to any of the characters, but he does. Which almost feels un-Angel-like, doesn't it? That he just immediately is like, well, this is what happened. It sucked.
Yeah.
That's why I think it was rushed, because I'm like, because even like seeing that episode, like the episode before, it's just like, well, he's going to like sit on this for a while and then maybe it'll come out and but like, yeah, that's what felt rushed. I'm like, he's just saying it right now. Here we go.
Yeah. Right. But I do like it. I do like this scene between them, and I was glad they needed a one-on-one scene, since it's his last episode. But the way he approaches it is like, why didn't you tell me about the oracles? And Doyle's like, what? And I do like that after Angel kind of tells him everything, we cut to him immediately telling Cordelia. Like, I do like that.
Yeah.
And like, I even really like their scene, like Cordelia and Doyle's scene here is like very good. Cause I also, the thing we like, I mean, you mentioned this, Zach, like on Buffy, we didn't get a lot of time where it's just like the characters get to sit and just like chat. A lot of times it would be like, oh, we got to get Dawn to school, or like, oh, we got to talk about the new monster this week, or like, oh, Glory or the mayor or Angelus. But I like that we do get these moments.
Why did you open with getting Dawn to school? There's other things in Over the Hell map that are a lot more serious.
Because I feel like that's like a lower stakes, but we still get that much. That would be like
But you're right. Like this show does do a lot of like one-on-one chatting, and this episode particularly, like he does one-on-one chatting with so many of these characters, even the side characters. Like this is very much a foreshadowing Doyle's death episode. It's like the entire episode is like that.
Yeah. And he does well. I do think like Glenn Quinn delivers in all these scenes. I wonder, like, you know what I kept thinking of? And Summer, I don't know if you have anything to compare this to. Like, if you know it's your last episode, are you like, shit, I gotta like bring it? Or is it more like, fuck, this is my last episode? Like, I don't know, right?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of times you don't even fucking know it's your last episode.
Also fair.
You just gotta act like it is, so it's not. I mean, that's kind of how I've always approached it. But I mean, I would bring it more.
Act like it is, so it's not.
Yeah, like if I knew it was my send off, I'd be like, bitches, you're gonna remember me.
Oh my gosh. Is that what Sarah Michelle Gellar's doing in every episode of Buffy? She's like, this is it. This is the last. This is the end of my career.
Well, I mean, Charisma Carpenter does, when she comes back, right? Summer, you've seen season 5, right?
Of Buffy or Angel?
Of Angel, Cordelia's last episode.
Yeah.
Because she definitely does, right? Like, she looks fucking gorgeous, and she like nails every scene.
Yeah.
So it probably was that. Like, you want it to be my last episode? Well,
Yeah, exactly.
So God, where are we?
Okay, so Cordelia and Doyle were having their little one-on-one heart-to-heart, and Doyle, we get this moment like quite often through the episode is Doyle is about to say something. He's about to reveal his feelings or ask her out on a date or something, right? That's going to progress that relationship. And then the cruelty factor of the writer comes in, and it's always cut off by the door opening, the bell on the door opening, or Angel showing up on a motorbike, you know. And so somebody shows up. Who shows up? Hold on.
Well, no, it's a woman walks by, but then he gets a vision before he can. Right.
Yeah, and so Cordelia act like they're playing charades, you know.
And so like, I do love that the scene ends with her being like, well, in the vision, did they look like they could pay?
Yes.
But like, this is for me, like, because this is still like, you know, we're still like only like maybe like 10-ish minutes into the episode. And then after this, it does feel so like, it feels like everything gets bleak and the stakes get like so high so fast, right?
Yeah,
because it's just like, oh, he sees those demons, Angels found them, they're in like this grave danger, we have other Nazi demons. Like,
man, this is a dark episode, and it's dark, and these demons are so dark, but they don't come back, do they?
No.
So why is it like this dark?
I know,
right?
They really invested in that.
Yeah, it does feel like something we should have or could have come back to if we're going to make the stakes so high, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I read that the only time this is ever mentioned again is when like Connor is born, that apparently Angel does say he would worry that the Scourge would come for him.
I might offer Connor up to the Scourge. I don't know. Does that sound bad?
Fucking Connor. I know. He was the worst.
Yeah, anytime someone says Dawn is the worst Buffyverse character, I'm like, no, Connor.
Dawn is still fun though. I love watching Dawn still.
Yeah, I would take Dawn or Connor over Riley any day.
I don't agree with this, and I might leave the episode.
Zach likes Riley. Jason hates Riley. I feel very like.
I love a golden retriever boyfriend.
I do too, but he is a little too. I don't know. Summer, how do you feel about Riley?
You know what? Everybody's got a Riley in their past. You know what I'm saying? I got a Riley. I spent
We're getting into the Summer Bishil True Hollywood story now.
No, but it's true. Just that like basic dude that can't get past his like hardwiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you like spend too much time on. And like there was parts of that season I remember that I was so annoyed with. Like her one night stand, like I hated that happened to Buffy.
Yeah.
You know, the Riley thing and how long it continued. And I didn't even like when he like came back and was the one to make her feel better than her circumstances.
Oh, really? I did like that.
I was pissed.
Yeah, it's like, why is Riley the one that illuminates that she is this like special human being that's gifted? Right. Like, really? Like, and also, like, I had problems with that anyway, because Double Meat Palace was like, it was like hard to watch her in that, because they presented like a job as the most degrading thing in the world. And it's like I had problems with that inherently. It's like, working is good and there's nothing wrong with honest work. It's not, honest work is not degrading. Yeah. But you know what I mean? There was just this like, oh, she's at the Double Meat Palace and getting fucked in alleys now. It's like,
that's exactly what they do too. It's always in the same episode that shit's going down, right?
It's like,
Summer, you're right.
You know, like,
oh fucking hell! Fuck.
Listen, I work shitty, degrading jobs. I'm not getting fucked in alleys. Like, what's going on?
Well, I'm glad you were not about to go into the Ian getting fucked in the Barnes and Noble alleyway story. Okay, I don't need to hear that one. It's like your fingers smell like books.
But yeah, so God, I've lost track of where we are.
They've got a vision, so they're investigating.
Right. And they very quickly find these demons and find out everything, right?
Yeah.
They kind of I'm so stupid. I literally watched this today and I was like, wait, what happened? Like I got confused when there was a flashback, because I'm so used to shows like changing the color when there's a flashback, and they didn't really for this flashback. So I thought it was just like the next day and Doyle meets one of the demons that's like him. But so we get Doyle, like, once he hears the Scourge, he gets like freaked because he knows he's encountered them before. Like, we get this flashback of this other demon. I forget, what the hell is his demon name? Bracken, right? Bracken demon? Yeah, it's another Bracken demon. He's coming to Doyle for help. And Doyle's like, oh, I can help you on betting, but I'm not, with this, I can't help you. And that we learned that was when he got his first vision, but he thought it was a dream and it was of all of them dead. And then he like goes to their hideout and finds out that the Scourge has like murdered them all. And he tells Angel this story, which I do like, because again, that goes to Doyle. Like, I think it's like episode 2 or 3, Angel even says Doyle he doesn't know Doyle's story. And Doyle's like, oh, we'll get there. And then, 2 episodes before this, we meet his ex-wife. And then now here we are, like, learning more about, like, when he first got visions and stuff like that. So it really is, like, a very good arc for Doyle, even if it's subtle.
Flashbacks usually don't work for me either. And this one did, especially when he's going through the bodies and, like, we get very clear close-ups of, like, him looking in their faces and seeing that they're dead, There was a lot of emotional weight in that flashback scene.
Yeah, the flashbacks are normally pretty light, but this one was, I agree.
And I do kind of like that the flashback is about like how he failed, right? And that's why he doesn't want to fail this time. Like, I do think that like adds to his character of like why he is like the way he is for certain things. And like, I don't know. I like, as much as I can like, something so bleak, but I do like that it is a little bleaker and it does add to him, right?
You know what I found interesting too is like Cordelia's like in the back of she's behind like Doyle and Angel, and they're like discussing, and it's like it's unclear which one is gonna die. And she's just like, she's playing the stakes for both. She's like, wait, are you going to die? Because they're like having the conversation in code kind of about who's going to be the sacrificing hero.
At the end,
and she's just like, oh.
And like, right, this flashback kind of tells us, like retroactively, but it tells us that it does need to be Doyle, right? Because it's like, last time when he needed to be, when the Scourge is around, he didn't. And it led to like, all these people being murdered, so it like makes sense that he would be the one to sacrifice himself in the end.
I'm also really happy that they just like skip the part where he tries to run again and then goes off on his own and realizes no, he has to go back. Right, that happens with everything.
Right,
that one trauma has led to him having to run again, but then he realizes he needs to be the hero. We just go straight to him needing to be the hero, and I appreciate that a lot more.
Yeah, because like, right, the back and forth, it's like, come on, we already know. So we get what is it? They kind of tell Doyle tells Angel and the Listers, which is the demon name, they tell, like, the Scourge can't be killed, they can't fight them, so Angel's like, I refuse to let that happen, like, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, and that's the plan.
Yeah.
It's a big bad. Like, this is a season big bad. This is not an episode big bad.
Yeah.
And it really frustrates me that they take this entire, like, militant group and shove them into an episode, because even when the girl is, like, running away with her box and, like, they hide and they hear the boots, like, that's terrifying. And when you see them, they're terrifying. So why the fuck are they only in one episode? Why is this just like a one episode little bad?
Yeah. A little bad. Yeah, it is weird, right? Because, like, and they hold the weight of, like, you feel they, like, the marching and the shadows, and, like, it feels, like, intense, and, like, also feels like, all right, Angel got those people out of there, but we didn't defeat the Scourge, so shouldn't we?
Yeah, like, they're around, okay? Yeah. So what is next? It's they make a plan to get everybody out of there, right? They have Cordelia get a bus, but they don't really tell Cordelia what's going on, so she shows up all confused anyway.
Like, that's a really important piece of information to tell her when she's coming with a truck.
A fucking email, a memo, whatever was around back, a page, however you want to do it.
Her beeper just says, like, demon spelled out in numbers.
Because she shows up and sees demons and is clearly not expecting demons, right?
Yeah, and is understandably, like, scared, right?
Yes. The demon-human relations in these, and Angel and Buffy, which demons are bad, which ones we trust, that's always confusing, but, like, it makes a lot of sense for her that she grew up on a Hellmouth and she's always trying to be killed. People are trying to kill her, that when she shows up in a room full of demons in front of her, she might pull out her mouth spray,
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I love her doing that. I love that she's like, it might look like mouth spray, but it is actually demon repellent, and then sprays it, and the guy's, what does he say, like, winter fresh or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love her. But I will, like, and okay, she's kind of like, excuse me, demons? And, like, Doyle's like, oh, we'll talk over here. She is a little shitty here, but I'm glad, like, after, like, 2 or 3 beats, she does come around, right? And like you said, Zach, for them not telling her, it's like, all right, I can understand where she would be a little like, wait, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean?
I mean, if you didn't follow the context of Buffy, it would seem like she's being more prejudiced than not, right? But, like, she did come from a fucking Hellmouth where she was being, hunted every other week. So we have to understand that. But then here, they're kind of sidestepping the context, and they're more like trying to make that point. Well, Doyle's a demon, and he's going to teach her a lesson once, she finds out he's a demon, and she's going to give up all that prejudice. But, like, I don't know. We don't need that. Because she clearly does, like, fall in line, like, as soon as she realizes these people need help. And so she's like, okay, well, let's help them. Maybe you could have told me that over the phone. I don't know. Okay, everybody on the bus.
Yeah, she does, like, come around. We learned that Angel is sending them. But see, that already, just even talking about this, I'm like, God, this episode moves so fast. We're already at the, like, fucking cargo ship beat. So Angel is getting them out of town on a cargo ship. Then we see Angel. This kind of shit I do like when we get to see Angel do, where, like, he's not evil, but he's, like, extorting the captain and is like, well, I didn't bite that guy because I wasn't hungry, but yeah, Jason, I feel like that's shit you like, right?
Oh yeah, because, like, you never get to see it. Be like, oh, how did, like for example, like, how did Cordelia get the truck? Like, did she pay for it? Like, they're already low on money. But, like, at least we saw, like, they're gonna move a whole freaking cruise ship. Like, how is this happening? So it's kind of cool to see, like, the little details, and, like, Angel's like, yeah, I'm not paying. Like, it's nice to see that, because sometimes you never know. Be like, how'd you get the money for that if you're struggling right now?
Right.
You know?
Like, you can't pay the bills, but we can do this. That's weird. Yeah, and I like that. Like, that's, I don't know. I like that shit. And so we find out one of the Lister's kids has run away. And there's a little girl who's like, oh, he's not coming back. So Doyle goes to find him.
Yeah.
And he basically, I mean, you mentioned this before, Zach. So what does he do with the kid? What talk does he give him?
About I don't know nothing about your religion and your Jesus Christ, but Angel's a good man. We always get the Angel's a good man speech. Angel ain't been doing shit this whole episode. Okay, I get where we're going though, right? We're going that Doyle's actually the hero, but still, I can sit out an episode with an Angel's the best man speech.
I like that you want one episode without that.
Just one.
Yeah, and basically the speech she gives him is very I understand, I ran, it didn't help, blah blah blah.
That too, yes.
Yeah, and Doyle knows that doesn't work, and but very quickly it's the kid is kind of okay, I'll go back, and then we hear the marching, right?
It's fucking scary.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does work as oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, they come down that alley running like they're in a 5K together, they're coming.
And so Doyle hides the kid, he turns into his demon form, he does a diversion. A thing like this is kind of, what I was thinking about in Buffy season 6, when there's that really dumb demon gang that's trashing Sunnydale before Buffy comes back. I'm these demons are lighting cars on fire and smashing wouldn't this be a problem?
Did we not see those demons actually leave either though? Because they kind of just disappear in my memory, but I don't know what happened to them.
It's when Buffy comes back, she kills the main one, and then it's kind of meh, now they're gone. That's it. Yeah, because they don't defeat the Scourge in this episode, and this is what they do, so it feels but there is there's actually a comic, one of my favorite, before the Buffy comics became canon, one of the last things was a story called Notes from the Underground, where the Scourge actually takes over Sunnydale, and they are under the control of a rebuilt Atom. And it's actually
oh,
that's a cool storyline. Yeah.
When is that set?
It's set, I think, I can't remember if it's between 6 and 7. That's when it is. Because Anya becomes anyone who's Anya, who is a demon but is good, they capture, but they don't kill. So Anya's captured by them. And there's a scene, and she has to stay in her demon form or something. And I remember there's a scene between her and Xander where she yells at him for leaving her at the altar. So it's between 6 and 7. And it's Angel hears about it. He breaks Faith out of jail, and then they go to Sunnydale. And that's actually the comic where Pike from the Buffy movie comes in. And he helps Buffy, and then him, Buffy, Faith, and Angel defeat the Scourge.
Okay, literally could have been a 4 or 5 episode arc, but yeah, it's a comic, I guess. Whatever.
Well, yeah, and it's it actually is a few issues, and it's really good. Although I haven't read it forever. But yeah, that's what I always think of with the Scourge, because they really could have a whole arc in the show. And but, yeah. Anyway, Angel kind of saves Doyle from getting beat up from these guys. I will say, although the Nazi element works for making them scarier, they still do feel okay, I feel Angel could beat up these demons, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't feel I feel they needed to be also they're super strong or something like that.
I was gonna say
they didn't really for as much as they were rushing the episode and building up and giving context to pretty much everything, there was no context to how powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except they're scary. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think the mass genocide was supposed to be the scary part, right? That's supposed to tell us how dangerous they are. But I think the number thing, the fact that he's just outnumbered is maybe the more scary part. But we've already seen Angel take on full gangs and stuff like that. So it's a 50-50, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So God, then what happens? I keep getting lost in my notes. So Doyle and Angel had come up with a plan. We see back at the ship that they're waiting for the kid, right? And I do like having to see Cordy handle this kind of shit. And also, were we supposed to assume that Cordy lied when the captain was oh, so Angel said 50%, but I'm going to do 60%. She's okay, because wasn't it that Angel would wipe his debt completely?
Yeah. So so she was just oh, this is already a deal. That's why the 60 is yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. And I kind of like that they give her some, I don't know, and she can boss around a fucking captain of a ship. Like, give me a break. It's Cordelia Chase. So I like that she's like able to do that. Then we get Angel. This is another like very weird, like Angel's like diversion is to kind of go undercover, but it doesn't really do much. And we get the scene of like,
Santa.
Right?
It's just why?
Zach.
I mean, he learns the info about the chandelier, whatever that is. You know, he learns that info.
But I also feel like Angel's an investigator, and he's so sneaky in like literally every other episode. So why couldn't he just be like hiding?
He's depressed, Jason. He's depressed.
I can't be sneaky when I'm depressed.
I'm sad. I can't do this right now. I gotta save a group of people. Oh.
You know what? Fair.
I think it's so cringy when he tries to act bad. Like when he's really bad, it's like it's real sexy. But like when he tries to act bad, it's cringe.
It's so bad. I hate it. I hate it.
I do think he's having more fun though, the actor.
Probably.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. He's in SEAL Team 6 now. We don't know where his head's at.
So he like pretends to snap Doyle. This is very dumb. It's like he pretends to snap Doyle's neck. We know Doyle can't be dead, but like his thing is, I want to join you guys. And so they're like, okay, sure. And then the demon kid comes upon Doyle and is like worried he's dead. And we learn that Doyle's fine because he's stronger when he's a demon.
Like, none of this is. We're just supposed to accept it. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. Sometimes you just do it. I'm just making shit up in my head that maybe he like locked his neck or something. I don't know.
Like here's an extra spine, or who knows.
I mean, Summer, you worked on a show with other creatures. Sometimes, right? That is, you just gotta like go with it, right?
Yeah, you have to, or you end up looking silly.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
if you don't sell what you're supposed to sell, like that's what I always told myself if something was just ridiculous. I was like, okay, I'm gonna look dumb though.
Were there times where you would read the script and not understand what was happening, but just go with it?
Not really. Like I would always understand what was happening, and I dug my writing all the time. But there was times where I was like, how the fuck am I going to make this sound not insane? But that was kind of like part of the fun of the character I played. Like that was the game. That was the game. That was the work, and it was fun in its own way. But like, yeah, I said some crazy shit sometimes, and I had to have like the stakes of it being real, which was hard. So like, I don't know, but like that's why I love like these sci-fi shows and these like genre shows, is because it does deal with like quite intense material. I mean, they're covering essentially ethnic cleansing in this episode, and you know, they cover serious subject matter, but through this filter that is not of our world. So it's an interesting way to explore really dark and heavy themes. And like I think that if you're aware of that while you're doing these scenes and of the like the themes that are being woven into episodes like this, then it does mean something, and it does matter, however silly it may look, because it's coming in the form of this like funny looking demon or this ridiculous like electric box or you know, whatever. I mean, I guess those are the things that can ground you into a performance when things around you don't feel grounded. Because, I mean, essentially, I think that's why these demons were so terrifying to me, because what they represented was so much darker than anything that they've taken on in Angel yet.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, and that's why it's like it's so surprising that was it. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were afraid of it or something.
Yeah. Because especially like Buffy and Angel, usually I guess the first evil with Buffy, but like I can't think of a like big bad or even big bad of the week that they don't like legitimately kill. That's like evil and murderous, right? Like usually it's like they fully defeat the thing. Yeah, but so God, then we are
Angel, like they're having this big Nazi meeting, right?
Right.
And Angel's all dressed up like a good old boy. He's got his hair slicked back, and he's got himself a uniform now, which is so weird that they would give him a uniform.
Right.
Wouldn't they give him like a peasant's outfit and like make him with a chain neck? I don't know.
Right.
Details. But he learns about this like magical like chandelier light box thing, and so he basically gets the intel that he needs to like get out of there and go back to the ship and let everybody know just in time, by the way, because he jumps on a bike and takes off, right at the right time.
Yeah, because they're like right behind him. But okay, so before he arrives, we get a very good scene.
Oh yes,
between Cordelia and Doyle, because I forgot to mention. Earlier, when Cordelia's talking to the head of these Lister demons, he's like, I do like that he's like, Doyle understands our suffering. She's like, oh, we all do. And he's like, well, I mean, of course, yeah, but Doyle's half demon. And she's like, demon? Excuse me? Summer, I gotta hear what you think of, because I think Charisma Carpenter does like really good work in this scene when Doyle like comes up, she slaps him, and she's like, "What do you think I am, superficial?" Like, right?
I know, she's amazing because she has to straddle the type of dialogue that maybe on paper is not that weighty, but she has to bring a different type of performance than is really what's written, and she has to straddle so much comedy. And like physicality, and yet somehow she like grounds it and makes it so emotionally impactful. Like she's so good. She does so much. With like what on paper is probably like the type of performances she gives, those aren't obvious on the script.
Right.
Like it's not like they wrote for her in very traditional or conventional ways. Like you're the, I mean, there's humor, there's who she is as a character that's, pretty complex and layered with a lot of, cultural references and like, I mean, we know what kind of character Cordelia is, and she's asked to do a lot and sell a lot, and she does it all the time, and she's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, is that she is asked to sell a lot, and she always sells it. Like there's never a time.
Yeah.
And like for me, this is like a very good second to last scene for them, right? Like it's not their final goodbye, but it's very good where like, I love that she's this, I feel like Jason, you may agree, Zach, this feels very me, where it's like, I'm yelling at you, but also I care about you, but also this is what I want us to do. Like, I feel like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you're half demon. That's way down on the list. You're also short and poor. Like, I love her. And she's like, my boss is a vampire. Like, why would I care about that? Which is true. Like, it's silly to think that someone who came from Sunnydale, whose boss is a vampire, would be like, oh, you're a demon? Ugh, that's terrible. Like, I don't know. She doesn't give a shit. She dated Xander Harris, who's way worse than a demon.
Exactly.
Way worse than a demon, yes.
And I love that, like, so she's giving those, like, pissed off emotions, and then she's like, that's done. Now, would you ask me out for dinner already? Like, I love that.
Ugh.
That's like...
goes nowhere, because these writers that somebody hurt them.
but it is I do love that she, after she's like, well, now I'm done yelling at you, so now I want you to ask me out to dinner, and like fucking love her. Like that is the energy
awesome.
That
like
is you.
That I want.
That is you. Okay, now ask me out on a date. Do it. Let's go to the Wawa and get some water.
Oh my god.
Listen, Zach made fun of my accent during our recording for My Bloody Judy last night. You cannot make fun of my accent. I feel like even hearing you say good old boys with your accent, I'm like, ooh, that sounds racist.
Probably. It's probably a racial undertone.
But yeah, no, my Mayor of Easttown accent, I never really realized I had it till I moved to New York, to be fair. Like, I didn't think I had an accent at all.
And I hear you all the time.
Ooh, how does it hold up for a rewatch?
It's pretty damn good, honestly. Yeah.
I haven't done a rewatch. Yeah, anytime someone on Twitter was like, ooh, her accent sounds cartoony, I'd be like, no, that's what we sound like around here, I promise. Jason, did you watch it?
You're not like that thick, though.
No.
Well, I'll send you like a clip just to hear the accents are like very accurate. Summer, did you watch Mayor of Easttown?
I didn't.
Oh, it's, you know what it is though, right?
No.
Is it Kate Winslet HBO like limited series where she plays like a cop investigating a murder? And it's real fucking good.
I think I tried an episode and I just like wasn't feeling it at the time. But yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. So it takes like where Jason and I are from is in Jersey, but like right outside of Philly. And it takes place in like a fictional town on the other side of Philly.
Oh, got it.
The accents are like so thick, but like, right, Jason, in that area, the accents are very thick.
Oh my God, that's funny. I had to do a British accent for a tape yesterday, and I was like, I hope I'm not butchering it. And I just watched The Crown like a lot. And
nice.
But then I was like, you know what? Like, how many times is the American accent like butchered? Like so many times.
That is true.
Yeah, so many times I'm like, that's not what we sound like. We're not all cowboys.
You always get the R's. It's always the R's.
The R's. Yeah. And we're all cowboys. Like, it's just like, it's so funny when I travel, they're like, oh, you're American. And it's like, who here sounds like that other than you? But yes, I am American. Like, it's just like, you sound insane.
I feel like especially saying that to you, Summer, like you're so not like, you're very like California and like chill.
I know. Like, leave me out of
it. But yeah, so before he can answer with asking her out, that's when Angel, as Zach mentioned, pulls up on his little motorbike. And the Sturge is like literally right behind him.
All right, hold on a second. I can't get over that scene of him pulling up in a motorbike because it looks so tiny. I'm like, this doesn't even look heroic right now. Like, I can't get, you know how I focus Ian on like one little thing and I can't get over it? I couldn't get over that. I was like, why would this look so bad?
Wait, Jason, I want you to know what I thought of, and I was like, oh, I'm recording with Jason. Do you remember the one time when we were living together? I think it was me, you, and Kevin, and we were watching. God, what the hell's that show? The Comedy Central show with the three stoner guys.
I know what you're gonna say. Workaholics. Yes. This is exactly what I thought of, Ian.
So Jason and I were very intoxicated, and we're watching Workaholics, and one of the guys pulls up on like, I don't know what the fuck it even is, right, Jason? I don't know.
It's like this. It's some sort of weird bike, but yes.
Yeah, it's like a low, tiny bike, and Jason laughed so hard he was crying and choking, and rewound it like 85 times and made us like. We all had to watch it with him so many times. And it was just like a little like pull-up scene. And Jason was like, look at his sweet bike, and was laughing so hard he was like choking. So that's what I thought of when Angel pulled up in this like tiny weird motorbike.
Yes! Yeah. Like I was like, well, they could have done something better here. Like, this looks so bad.
It's such a weird,
It was probably like one of the crew guys. They're like, hey, get that
motorbike. Yeah. I kind of love shit like that. Like, Zach, when we covered, what is it? Is it Halloween 5 or 4 where there's like that car chase scene and it was one of the crew members' car?
Oh, yeah. It was 4. No, 5.
Yeah, 5. I read that was like literally what happened, Summer. In Halloween 5, there's like a car chase scene, and the car they use was one of the crew members' car. They like liked it and were like, "Can we use your car?"
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love shit like that. But so the Sturge has arrived. They need to get the listers down below deck. They rush them down. Angel fights some of them. I do like that he calls the one that looks exactly like the demons from the Buffy season 3 episode. He calls him Football Head. Mm-hmm. And I read that it like literally is the same prosthetics. So I guess it's just supposed to be the same kind of demon. Remember, like we just talked about Ken, Zach, the like demons that work for Ken in season 3 and like that like other dimension. Angel fights them. The listers get locked in their room with the beak. I was unclear. How did the like beacon light box chandelier thing? How did it get there?
Okay, can we?
They kind of show it lifting them onto the boat. They show it.
Zach.
Yeah, no, we need to talk about this whole beacon thing, okay? Because I'm not entirely clear on any of it, how the fuck it gets into the boat. I'm not clear on, like, how it's in the exact room that they're in. I'm not clear on how it's like, well, if the light touches you, you die, but it's touching all of them, you know? It's like a light, you know, a full light. I just don't understand the beacon. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's confusing, man.
But Jason, is there a scene? I don't remember there being a scene of them loading.
Yeah, when they pull up, when they first pull up, you see the light, and then they immediately start like raising the light up or whatever you kind of see. But that's kind of all they show of it.
I mean, I do and the lift. Where'd they get all this stuff?
Yeah, but well, you know, it's the same thing. Like some things are just like, all right, well,
very true.
Yeah, and like.
They show there's like a 5-second of them like clicking it all together and raising it. So,
I don't accept. I take it back. I don't accept. Doyle is supposed to die. They need to make it detailed enough so that I believe that he couldn't have gotten out of this situation.
Zach, I take it back. I don't accept it. So yeah, they end up locked in the room, and like this is where I also get a little like. This is where the rushedness of the episode, I feel, because it's like, well, Scourge is still there, and like they got on the ship, didn't they? Like, did Angel kill all of the ones that were there? I guess.
I guess.
They're like, our evil plan is foiled. Everybody go home.
Yeah, go home. Everyone go to bed. So yeah, they're locked in the room, and I gotta say, the last stand of Angel explains what it does, right? So they know. And the last stand of our trio on that ledge, I think is very good. Everyone's doing really good acting. I couldn't believe that David Boreanaz did a really good job selling me on when like he thinks he's going to have to sacrifice himself and he has like tears in his eyes. I was like, look at you acting. Good for you, girl. Like I was like very, very proud that everyone was A+. And a thing, and I mean, you mentioned this earlier, Summer, a thing that I did really like is that Cordelia is mostly speechless, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, for her, if she's speechless, she's like genuinely like stressed and upset, right?
Yeah, the writers really bought a lot of power in her being quiet because she's the one to call everything out. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, she's doing really good face acting where you can see that she wants, like, the way Charisma is right? It's like she wants to say something, but Cordelia can't think of anything to say, and she's looking between both men, and it's like she doesn't want either of them to die because this is her family, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It's like the power in her not saying anything, like, really sells it, that it's like the two men in her life are being like, which one of us is going to sacrifice ourselves to save these people? And Doyle kind of like punching Angel and knocking him off the ledge. And again, Cordelia's just like, fuck. Like, she's just like, oh shit. Like, she doesn't have anything to say because she's just like panicking. And I did tear up when they kissed. And like he transfers, we see the little like purple whatever light go from him to her. But Summer, I want to know your opinion, because we talked about this and I Will Remember You, how Cordelia wasn't in on the decision-making process. How did you feel about it here? Or Buffy wasn't in on the decision-making process. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really ask her how she felt about it. They didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
About his death, you mean? Like about the choice?
About like him giving her his visions.
I mean, whoa, yeah. I never thought about it from that angle. I mean, that's a lot to take on.
Right. But I guess also it would be like someone has to have them, right?
Someone has to have them. And I feel like she had committed herself to the greater good and being a hero.
Yeah.
Like she had sort of spoken about that. But I mean, I guess there is some,
I don't know, right? But I get it. It's like you said, it is like a greater good thing. So like, I don't know. I was surprised because I haven't rewatched this episode in forever. I was surprised how brutal it is when Doyle is on the thing.
Oh, boy.
right?
So that's trivia
really
too,
melts
right?
him.
That was David Greenwald who really wanted it to be like. So I read the trivia before I watched it because I didn't remember how he like kind of fades away. And so David Greenwald wanted him to like really melt down to the muscle, then melt down to the bone, and make it really like you see it all. You see the whole process of him melting away, which is a lot quicker than the guy before got, by the way. Or a lot slower than the guy got before.
Yeah.
And that the network thought it would be too, or somebody thought it would be too much for television. And so like what I've read from the trivia ended with that. So I was like, okay, so it's going to be like a lighter version of that. But no, they like, it's horror movie shit.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. I was like, Jesus, this feels like more horror movie shit than we had gotten, at least this season of Angel. Like we got the guy that fell apart, but it was never like bloody, right? It was just kind of like, a hand crawling or an arm moving or whatever. Yeah, and like it's weird that like this is his last stand and like it's so brutal. Like, we cut and like his face it's all muscle, and then we cut back and like his eyes are like caved in the last time we cut back to him. Yeah. And like, oh man, when Cordelia like puts her hand over her mouth and starts crying, it really like hurt my feelings. I was like,
it's not how you want to see your people, right? Like death is already one thing.
Right.
And death is made even worse when you have to see somebody in a state of death, sort of like Buffy and her mother, and then B in this horrific way that they're watching Doyle literally melt down to nothing, like trauma.
Yeah.
I know, like, I feel like anyone from Sunnydale has, like, PTSD in general, but, like, Jesus Christ, like, Cordelia, like, her graduation was her having to fight with her, like, graduating class to, like, kill all these demons and, like, watch their, like, classmates get killed, and then this the next year, like, Jesus, Cordelia really needed a break. Yeah, and, like, it is... I like seeing that Angel and Cordelia hug. I was glad we got because Angel isn't a hugger. Right. I liked that it was like, yeah, even Angel's upset and he like immediately goes over to hug her and they like hug crying about this. I thought that was a very nice moment for their characters as well. Like two people grieving together that like are very comfortable with each other and have love for each other. Like I did like that. Yeah. And then, what beat do we end on, Summer?
For the episode, I mean, it's super bummer. It was like I remember the first time I saw it, and I really took it in for the first time. It was like, where does it go from here? Because it really felt like they all established it together.
Yeah.
I was very invested, and then I did finish the series, and now I see like, okay, well, that's where it goes,
Right, yeah.
And it does move on, but you do always, he left a huge presence for such a short amount of time on a show, which I think is just pretty remarkable from the writer's end and from his performance too.
Yeah. So again, this is like weird because it's like, that's the end, and then we just cut to them at Angel Investigations. And I like that Angel and Cordelia have no dialogue in the scene. It's just them watching Doyle's tape. Yeah. And again, like, I mean, we mentioned this already, but like the fact that even the episode ends on him saying, "That it? Am I done?" Like, oof.
But then no music.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah. It's just really, really well done. And like,
it is.
It is a good send off. Like, if the character had to have a send off, it is a good. I do think send off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is super fucking depressing though, because I mean he dies very shortly after this, the actor,
Yeah.
And it just adds that extra layer where it was that's all I could think about while I was watching that very end part, because the scene of him dying, right, like it was sad, but it was more sad because of the performance like Charisma was giving. It really hit me in an emotional way when you see like the last remnant of him in that video. And it just, I couldn't stop thinking of the actor, and like the actor was coming to his end as well. And so in that way, it's, like he really is living on through that. I don't know. Whole big spiel, but It was sad. It was very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the episode. Favorite scene, Jason?
Oh, honestly, I think it's that scene with Cordy and Doyle where Cordy slaps him, and you know, I just love that scene. It's so good.
Yeah,
she's like, "Well, ask me
out." Zach.
The very end, I just think the silence and the mundaneness of it is really, really, really good. And I love when they just do that throughout Buffy or Angel, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
You're right, because they do that on Buffy to like.
It's very effective.
Home. Yeah,
extremely effective.
Yeah. Summer?
I agree. I think that was the most impactful scene too for me.
Yeah. I think for me, it's same as Jason. It's Cordelia being like, ask me out now. I just love that. But I also do, I like everything of the trio's last stand on that like ledge of like Angel and Doyle arguing about who's going to sacrifice, and Cordelia not being able to say anything because she doesn't want to lose any of her like two very important men. It's weird, right? Because I mean, we've ragged on season 1 a lot and it is rough, but like, they did sell them as a trio, right? Like I feel like at this point, it's like, no, this is the trio. Like you said, Summer, it's watching this live. It's almost like, where is this going to go? Because this is the established Angel family.
I have a question.
And, go ahead. Yeah.
Could Cordelia not have done it? Because she's not a demon.
All right. So if you say that, then we can also talk about the switches that were right under the wire.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't go down.
That he could have turned off.
Never mind. Doyle's a hero.
I also am like, yeah. I mean, once
let's just not even do it. We won't even pick it.
Literally, they kept showing the switches, and I'm like, just hit the switches. You're good.
God, Jason, that would be like, it's me, Zach, and Summer being like, who's gonna go? And you're like, there's fucking switches right there. What are you talking about?
They're like, no, Zach's already up there. He's melting right now.
Jason's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit the switch. He'll be fine.
Angel should have got that intel too, because Angel was there. So
he ran out too quick.
Angel be like, oh yeah, they turned it off last time.
There's a switch. Why are you guys arguing about this? Like, I feel like we'll bypass favorite outfit because I don't know if anyone has one.
I mean, I don't know who's going to say the Nazi outfit, but I feel like somebody in this room will.
No, God.
Oh, God.
I literally put favorite outfit Cordelia's hair because her hair always looks great.
I do like her outfit on the boat. I think her outfit on the boat
spoke to the times.
It did. And Zach, you liked it?
Yeah. Thought it was good.
Summer?
Her little puffer vest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cute. I love a good puffer vest.
Summer, I love that you love all of Cordelia's like throwback outfits.
I do. It's all Y2K. It's my fucking closet.
It was just perfect, you know. That it was a perfect outfit for middle of the night stowing away refugees. You know?
Yeah, I don't care.
It has a little survival candle in it.
Yeah. She got a flashlight somewhere in there.
I'm in my 30s and I still dress like I did in middle school. Like I don't care because it's all back. So I'm having the best time.
Summer, Kim and I talk about that all the time. How like, because we are 38 and 39. Kim, the other Kimberly, and the other co-host, who's been my best friend since 8th grade.
Yeah.
How like that style does occasionally come back. The style of like from when we were like younger and like teens.
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, and like I've definitely consistently dressed like a pop punk hot top at teen since like 16 years old. So
oh hell yeah! I'm like, give me those Jankos and that tattoo choker.
Yes,
I'm ready, dude.
I do. I literally bought chokers after I watched, like, after recording a season 6 Buffy episode where she was wearing chokers, and I was like, you know what? I think we're bringing these back. And so I have a bunch of different chokers I wear like all the time.
Hell yeah! I don't know what brought back this Y2K aesthetic, but it's like back.
Right? I feel like teens on TikTok are dressed like
the world's ending again.
TikTok.
That's probably why.
Exactly. Oh my God. Do you remember Y2K? I was on like a military base, like playing pool and staying up late.
I remember like that New Year's Eve. Like I was literally on the beach
That's a nice way to celebrate it.
And then I was just like, well, world's still here, I guess.
I know everyone was kind of disappointed that nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Isn't that the whole plot of the first episode of Futurama, that like Y2K is happening? I think. I don't know. I think that might be like.
I think you might be right. It's something like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, this is where you tell us that we're all.
No, I won't. It's okay.
Yeah, grade. What grade do we give this episode? Summer?
I would give it a C, just because I wish they had not killed him. But if they were going to, they executed it well. I just wish they had not killed him.
Fair. Zachary?
I'm going to do a solid A, because now I'm thinking about the different ways they could have stopped it. I don't think Doyle had to die.
Yeah.
Jason?
I give it a B+. I love the heavy episodes. They really get me.
Mm-hmm.
And like the episodes that I still remember the first time watching, I'm like, why? Wait, what? Mm-hmm. They always, I don't know. They always like stay with me more, and this episode always did. So yeah, B+.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think I give it a B, because I do think they do the heavy stuff really well. It's just the way it feels so rushed. I can just feel, I don't know if you, Summer and Jason, I don't know if you guys remember, like, I think of like the Angel finale, how they were canceled with like when they had 5 episodes left, and they do have to rush it, but they do sell it. And so like I can feel the rush, but I can't decide if I want to forgive them for the rushedness or whatever, but a B is not bad. So I'm going to land on a B. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, now we're like, I don't know. It feels like the halfway mark, even though it's not officially the halfway mark. It does feel like this episode is like,
it kind of does feel
right,
like,
because like then we get Wesley, and then the season's like almost over. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. If you want to support us, you can support us on Patreon. We're going through Harley Quinn season 2. We will eventually get to 3 once we finish season 2, and we're covering What If season 1 with a few episodes left. Any and all support is much appreciated. There was also an episode of Summer and I just chatting for an hour and a half on the Patreon. And if you want to follow us on social, we are at SlayerFestX98. And if you want to follow me, I am at IanXCarlos. Summer, where can everyone find you?
Summary Bishil on Instagram and at SummerBishil1 on Twitter.
Jason, where can everyone find you?
Mainly on Twitch at Jason Sulli, Sulli, and on Twitter sometimes too.
And Zach, where can everyone find you?
Oh, My Bloody Judy, horror podcast I do with my buddy here, Ian Carlos Crawford. You can just search My Bloody Judy, you'll find it. And then I do a morning show and a late show twice a week with my husband, Alistair J. Patton. You can search Coffee and Tequila, and you'll also find us there.
All right, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.